This past weekend I went deer hunting with Derrick Outen again, and it was freezing cold. And here I'm doing a little pan of the sun coming up. And we had our buddy Jason for our Rui and a different deer stand. And I'm actually using Jason's camera here. You can see I'm trying to figure it out. And sun's just coming up, and Derrick is texting with Jason because Jason had some deer on him, and so we were texting back and forth and told Jason to go ahead and shoot, and he was not so successful. And this is a shot where I zoomed in as far as I could. Jason was actually in a deer stand way down behind those. You could see him in the binoculars, but not in the video camera. Jason shot about 7:30 when he missed a doe at about 40 yards. But we stayed in the stand, and I was just shooting some random shots. And like I say, it was pretty cold out there. And as you can see, Derrick's just surveying the land. I was videotaping this hawk. Was flying around, and it kept going off and coming back and swooping down like it was gonna get something. And I was actually videoing this hawk when Derrick said, look at that deer right there. And two does came out to the left, so I whipped it back over, and you could see I had the does right in the shooting lane here. Derrick had pushed out some lanes and had corn out, and those deer weren't in any hurry, and so Derrick was easing down, gonna set up for the shot. And of course, we didn't text Jason and tell him that we were about to shoot, so he got a good awakening with the shot. But anyway, Derrick was looking through the scope at the deer, and like I say, they just eased on up. And at first, we didn't know if does were decent enough size to make a shot, and then we finally said, the first one was good enough. And so Derrick's looking through the scope, and eventually I think you'll hear him. He asked me, he says, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he went ahead and pulled the trigger. So this doe's gonna get broadsided here shortly, or close to being broadsided, I guess. So Derrick didn't waste any time after he asked me if I was ready, and so the deer dropped on the spot, and then I climbed down the deer stand, which is way up high, tower stand, really too high for me. And so I videotaped Derrick coming down, and when he got to the bottom, we headed out after the deer. By this time, obviously, Jason knew that we had shot a deer. And so this is Derrick's walk-up approach. And that doe ended up weighing 113 pounds. So it's a pretty good sized doe. And like I said, didn't run at all, just dropped on the spot. Now he said he aimed at the base of the neck. Now I'm not so sure about that, but he said he didn't want to mess up any of the meat, so can't argue with him though. He made a good shot, and so we loaded this deer up and took it to the processor. So every time Derrick pulls the trigger, he usually gets one. So he talks junk, but can't argue with the results. Another good hunt.